What's going on YouTube? My name is Darren. I am the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, and on this channel we talk about fashion, fragrance, as well as lifestyle. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do so, please don't forget to hit that bell icon as well to ensure you get notified anytime I upload new content on the channel. So on today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I consider to be the 5 top designer fragrance releases so far in the year of 2022. Now, I don't think that I would have to continue to reiterate the point that overall, just for me personally, I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that all of the most popular, at least designer fragrance releases that I can recall so far this year has been a flanker of another fragrance. You know, that's just my personal opinion, because I do wish that the companies would do, somebody would come up with something exciting and totally new, totally different fragrance, new name, new bottle, etc., etc. But with that being said, I do also like to reiterate the point that that doesn't mean that the designer fragrance releases to me this year have been all bad, because that's certainly not the case. So I just want to talk to you guys about the 5 that I feel like have been the best so far in 2022. Now, I do have 2 honorable mentions, so it's going to be a total of 7 fragrances that I'm going to talk about. But I just wanted to give my commentary on the designer fragrance releases so far this year. So if you want to see what's on the list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this video. I am enjoying a cup of coffee this morning. It's starting to get a little bit cooler outside. Yesterday was really the first time I felt some cool weather, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the video. The first honorable mention that I want to talk about this fragrance comes from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and that is Le Beau Le Parfum. This is the bottle. The same male torso that you're accustomed to. Now, the funny thing with this one is that I actually don't have the initial release. I don't have the original Le Beau, but I do have the Le Parfum version. Oh, yeah, man. This is really good. This is really good. Honestly, although I haven't smelled the original, if you like fragrances like, what this kind of reminds me of is Jazz Club from Maison Margiela. Kind of has that same vibe to me. But the main notes in this, you definitely get that powderiness that comes from iris. That's very prominent in this fragrance. But you also get coconut, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So on the dry down, there's some tonka bean here, there's some sandalwood, and there's a ambery base to this fragrance. And one of the things I like about it is the versatility. Most of the time when I smell coconut, I start thinking tropical, I think summertime. So to me, you can wear this in the summertime and in the spring as well. But that nice creamy ambery tonka bean and vanillic base lends itself to you being able to wear this in the fall and winter. This is a really nice release. Again, although a flanker, and although I have not smelled the original, to me, this right here was a really, really solid release this year. So if you guys are trying to think about, in my opinion, which would be some of the fragrances that were released this year to go and pick up, in my humble opinion, this one right here is worth giving a smell to. So from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, again, this is called Le Beau Le Parfum. All right, guys, so the time has come. We're coming down to the wire here. We got a week left on the promotional deal to get my fragrances that I launched with Navitus Parfums, Eau Debonair, Sartorial NOIR, and Divine Aphrodisiac. So the promotion will run for one more week. If you buy one fragrance, you get 15% off. 2, you get 20% off. 3, 30% if you add anything from my first collection. 4 plus fragrances, you get 40% off your entire order. Guys, before the deal ends, go ahead and head over to NavitusParfums.com and pick up Eau Debonair, Sartorial Nuit, and Divine Aphrodisiac. Details will be down in the description. All right, so my second honorable mention is going to go to this fragrance from the house of Giorgio Armani. This is Acqu Di Gio Eau de Parfum. And although it only took 26 years for them to release the EDP version to the original Eau de Toilette, which was released in 1996, it is what it is. Like, a lot of fragrance houses are doing that as well. They're coming out with the Le Parfum and then going back and doing the Eau de Parfum and whatever. So, Acqu Di Gio Eau de Parfum can beat the DNA. I mean, again, there's a little bit of the original somewhere embedded in here. This one to me is a little bit more green and more woody than the original. You still have that aquatic nature that you enjoy from the original Acqu Di Gio, but again, you know, the better variant here really stands out to me. Really green and woody. And that's what I would, you know, really say is the difference, the main difference between this and the original. But again, it's a nice aquatic and it's Acqu Di Gio. I mean, what can you say? So it does deserve a mention as a good release from this year, but it is an honorable mention from the house of Giorgio Armani. Again, this one is Acqu Di Gio Eau de Parfum. All right, guys, so in the 5th spot, this fragrance actually was one of the more recent releases. I think it dropped maybe about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago. I actually just kind of found out about it maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And there seems to be a pattern forming with fragrances from this house, at least from this line. I'll talk about that in a moment. But this is from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and this is L'Homme Eau de Parfum. L'Homme Eau de Parfum. Now, if you guys remember, back in 2020, they released L'Homme Le Parfum, and that was the blue. It came in a blue bottle, and I talked a lot about that fragrance because I really felt like from 2020, that was one of the best designer fragrance releases from that year. But nobody really heard about it when it was released. It almost was like there was no marketing behind the fragrance. And I don't know, maybe I've been living under a rock. I didn't hear a lot about this one as well, but I like this. I really do like it. Another fragrance line that went in like this crazy chronological order, in my opinion, as far as the releases. They have an intense version of this and all these other things. And now they're finally coming out with the EDP version. But man, I really do like this, man. You get some orange up top, very prominent note of orange. You get some lavender in here. And they have this, it's a slight little bit of booziness. I don't get a lot of cognac, but it's just a slight bit of booziness and this oak note, which to me kind of resembles Killian's Angel Share when they talk about the aged oak barrels and, you know, soaking the alcohol in these oak barrels, and it ages over time. That whole idea, I think they kind of tried to do that with this fragrance, but I do like it. You get a little bit of that oak and that, you know, booziness from cognac in this as well. So this was a really, really solid one to me. I do like it. Definitely one that deserves to be in the top 5 when you look at, you know, all the other designer fragrance releases this year. This one was really, really good. So I would say check that one out, guys. That's from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. Again, that's called L'Homme Eau de Parfum. All right, guys. Now coming in at the 4th spot on this list of the top 5 designer fragrance releases so far in the year 2022. This fragrance comes from the house of Givenchy, and this is called Gentleman Reserve PRIVEE. Now this is an EDP concentration, but man, this one is really, really solid as well, if you ask me. Yeah, man. Again, it's true to form. You still get the iris in this. You get the iris. You get a little bit of that chestnut that's listed here. Kind of give that slight, you know, roasted kind of nuttiness to this fragrance with the iris. And on the dry down, really get this kind of slight ambery accord for the most part on the dry down. And there's a slight hint of whiskey, again, not super prominent to my nose, but you do get a little bit of that in this. Now, the iris is the most dominant note to me, just like all the other, a lot of the other fragrances from this particular range. Iris very prominent, so you have to be an iris lover to appreciate it, but this is really, really solid as well. So again, to me, these are some of the recommendations if you're looking, trying to kind of cipher through all these different designer fragrance releases and these flankers. To me, the one I'm talking about today, if you're trying to just get maybe one or two, these are the ones that I would say are worth picking up. So check this one out. This is really good, man, from the house of Givenchy. Again, this is called Gentleman Reserve Privé, and it's an EDP concentration. All right, guys, now coming in at the third spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of PACO RABBANE, and this is called 1 Million ELIXIR. Now, this is probably like, I think the 29th flanker. I think it's like the 29th or 30th flanker from this line, man. I can't even start to name them all, but that's not what this is about. Okay, because this is a really, 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 really good fragrance. Oh man, yeah, that opening with that apple is awesome. You get some apple in the opening. I do get a little bit of sharpness in the opening as well with the apple, and that comes from that Divana. A little sharp there, slightly green. And you definitely get all of those sweeter elements. This is, as it says, this is an elixir. And that definitely lives up to the name of being an elixir, because you get a lot of the sweetness in this fragrance that's coming from the tonka bean in here. There's a little bit of vanilla. Oh man, and what I really like about this one as well, you get this note of osmanthus in here. To me, the osmanthus comes out really kind of creamy in this fragrance as well. And it just, again, that kind of note, a floral note, although it's floral, it works well with when you have sweet notes on the base like tonka bean and vanilla, which is what you get a lot of here in this fragrance. But yeah, man, this is definitely a winner as well. So check this one out from the house of PACO RABBANE. This is 1 Million ELIXIR. All right, guys, now coming in the number 2 spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of AZZARO, and this one is the Most Wanted Parfum. The Most Wanted Parfum. This one was released this year. I think last year they released the Most Wanted. Again, this is another one that has a lot of flankers from this particular line, but does not change the fact that in this instance, this smells good. Man, I love this. So it opens up with this, it's fresh in the opening to me. You get sweetness, but you get freshness as well, and that's coming from that ginger. Oh man, I love it. This is not really of the ginger here is not really of that kind of fizzy, uplifting variety, more fresh, slightly citrusy nuance that you get from it. It almost comes off smelling like there's a note of mandarin orange or orange in the opening. That's the way the ginger is used here. And of course you get that sweetness from vanilla. It says there's woodsy notes in here. It smells like there is definitely some sandalwood in this. Definitely, yeah, because that kind of contributes to that creaminess. You get the some sandalwood, some vanilla as it dries down as well. But this is fantastic, man. Fall, winter, perfect time to wear a fragrance like this because it's date night appropriate. You know, those close encounter type situations, this is a winner. And that's why it's in the number 2 spot. This stuff is fantastic, man. From the house of AZZARO, this is called the Most Wanted Parfum. I get confused. All right, guys, and coming in at the number 1 spot, you probably didn't even have to wonder what was going to be number 1 on this list for me. The latest release from one of my favorite brands, Tom Ford. This is Noir Extreme Parfum. Noir Extreme Parfum. This stuff is it's phenomenal to me. You know, it's phenomenal to me. I really enjoyed this one, man. I got a video coming out where I'm going to be kind of going through the whole range of Noir fragrances. I think this is a very underrated fragrance line. But yeah, man. I mean, when it dries down, you're going to get the elements of the original. Now, I will tell you, I don't like this as much as the original Tom Ford Noir Extreme because I do love the sweeter elements of the fragrance as a whole. But it's true to form. It's still here. You still get the coffee, you still get the rose, and you know, the vanilla and those things that you loved about the original. But they amped up notes like specifically to my nose, Gaiac wood and leather. Because this is a very slightly smoky, leathery tinge when it opens. But underneath that is the essence of the original Noir Extreme. And to me, that's kind of sort of how you should do a flanker. You want to maintain the integrity of the original, especially if it was as good and as popular as the original was. But when you go Parfum and you go darker, I think you should go darker. And that's exactly what they did here. Again, they amped up notes like, leather, Gaiac wood. So there's some suede in this as well, so it's a lot warmer, a lot more of a leathery undertone to this scent. But I like it. I like it. Definitely one that I think you should pick up with fall and winter being right around the corner. Again, it's from the house of Tom Ford, and this is Noir Extreme Parfum. But all right, guys, that's it, man. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this list today as I gave you, in my opinion, the top 5 designer fragrance releases from the year of 2022 so far. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. You guys don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or may find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.